I remember I had to do a health visiting placement, and it was probably one of my worst placements, and it's probably put me off working in the community, but who knows, that might change later on down the line. I went on to this placement, and this placement was 6 weeks long, and I got given my own diary, and they basically said, you need to organise your own diary. I was like, yep, no problem. And then they gave me a telephone directory, and they said, you need to call up all of these places and book in when you can go and visit and arrange time. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, but I need someone to help me to do the phone calls. And my mentor was like, why can't you do it yourself? And she was already told that I'm deaf before coming on placement. I said, because I can't hear on the phone. And back then, those phones weren't great, they're really bad, those really old-fashioned phones, and the line's not really clear. And I tried to do a couple, and I just couldn't do it, so I just said I can't do it. And then she's like, email them. So I was like, okay. I asked for an NHS email, and she said no, because it would take too long. She said, use your personal email. So I was like, okay. So I used my university email and my personal email, but obviously no one got back to me because it wasn't an NHS email. So in the end, my mentor had to get me an NHS email, but that got to, I think, week 2, and by then I had nothing done. All I had to do was follow my mentor around, which got a bit boring. When my mentor had to stay in the office, didn't work, I was given nothing to do. Bearing this in mind, this was my first year placement, I believe. I eventually got my NHS email probably by week 4, and then I got some responses back from that, and I was able to pick some things in, but obviously I had a week and a half left at that point. When it got to my midpoint interview, my mentor said to me, why are you doing this? What's the point of you being a nurse if you can't hear on the phone? And obviously at the time, me being young, didn't really have my voice. I was just I didn't really say anything. I think I was just shocked, and I just didn't answer her, and I said I want to be a nurse. But she signed me off anyway. So yeah, that was one of the many awful things that I've had to face during my nursing training and career.